everybody. Today we're going to look at resolution dependent sprites with TK2D. So to get started, let's go to File and Build Settings. I'll be doing this from the iOS operating system. So just switch platforms, whether that or Android, however you're going to do it. So the first thing you want to do is create a new scene. And as you see, I created an empty game object called application initializer. That's the only object we're going to have in here. And now we're going to, in the assets, save this scene, of course. We'll call it init. Now we're going to create a new scene. And this new scene is going to be our actual game. So I'm going to call it game. So this is really important. You need an init scene so you can actually switch the platform in TK2D before you load up any of the assets. So this is literally going to be an empty scene with one object in it. The rest is going to be done here. So let's get creating our new sprite collection. So to do this, just go into create, go to the bottom, TK2D collection, and we're going to call this background. Now in our application, we're going to see down here background. Now we need to create a folder called textures. This should really be inside its own folder, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that, do things properly. Call this sprites, put textures inside, background data inside. Now we've got both of those inside of our sprites folder. So let's go grab those sprites. They're located on GitHub. I've got them here, so I'm just gonna throw them in real quick. This might take a minute. I'm going to throw those right in the textures folder. Alright. Now we're going to open the editor and we're going to drag in our background texture. Notice one is labeled background and the other is labeled background 2x. This is extremely important as this is how TK2D will differentiate your textures. We're only going to put background 1 in. We're going to leave this settings as is. This is our regular size. It's set for iPad, so it's 1024 by 768. We're going to commit. It's going to take a second. Now what I forgot to do was add platform support. So the current platform is 1x, correct, because we're building up from our standard iPad. So the next one is going to be 2x. Now this is going to automatically find background and create a whole different sprite collection with it. These errors are just common with TK2D. Alright, let's commit again. I could have done that all in one step, but I didn't. It appears I got these errors again, and I've been seeing them for a while now, but it hasn't given me a problem other than on building. So we're going to move on. Next step is opening up your scene view. Delete this this camera. Now we're going to create TK2D. We're going to create a quick camera. I'm going to leave the settings as is. Make sure the override is set right, which it is. Now we are going to create our sprite sheet. So here we go. We've got our sprite. We're going to label it. This is our background. And it's already set it up for us. Great, great. It's there. Let's check out the game view. It's set perfectly. Excellent. Now, if you check it out, we can go into TK2D, the 2D toolkit, and hit preferences. Now we can switch between 1x and 2x, and you'll see the texture changing between our 1x and 2x textures. So that's great. But if we run it now, nothing's going to happen. It's not going to change at all. So what we need to do is first go to our scenes. We need to go back to our init scene, get our application initializer, and now we have to add the script I have up in the Git repository. So just add this to your project. It's not gonna, doesn't want to work for me. There we go. Resolution Manager. And let's take a look at this script real quick. So all this does is on awake, it searches through all of the iPads. In the first clause, you're going to see iPads. This is the iPad 2s and the iPad minis, which all run on the same 1024 by 768. So we're going to hit 1x. And now the iPad 3 through iPad 4, as well as the iPad simulator. That's this weird one down here. We're going to have run at 2 times that. So if we save that on there, we bring up our build settings. Now we got to put in the scenes. We want init to run before game. And now, since it's running on my MacBook Pro, what we should see is it load up with the 1x, and it does. So again, looking at this, we're finding what model of device it is. For that, it saw MacBook Pro, set the current platform to 1x, and then loaded our game level. Alright, I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.